Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the bakery. I'm gonna try and keep this intro short and sweet. Today, we're back in Terraria because we're gonna be seeing if we can beat Terraria with only whips. What are you still doing here? That's the end of the intro. Go on, watch the rest of the video. Now, with probably the shortest intro I've made yet over, after an hour of looking at the Terraria wiki for all the different weapon types, I had a great idea to introduce an existing challenge idea to a different game by using only whips in everybody's favorite 2D Minecraft. I even got permission from the backlogs to make a very special character that I will be revealing later. Thank you so much, Lemon. Typically, when I find something I like in my games, I stick to it. Such is my burden. However, Terraria and these challenge videos actually really make me want to try new things. So thank you all for supporting my content, even though you all likely already have your favorite challenge runner picked out. All of this is reaching the point that I actually do understand Terraria's whip progression because I've tried Summoner class before and I really did enjoy it. However, the actual challenge here is that we're going to be taking away the main asset of the Summoner class, and I really do mean we are only going to use whips, no summons. Whips weren't added until 1.4, being relatively recently, which means they are a very minor piece of the summoner's arsenal. So minor, in fact, that whips may do additional supportive damage, however, they are not your main source of damage. Their main purpose is to give your summons an enemy to target and a damage boost. They are not meant to be used as your main tool. Other than that, we're allowed any armor and accessories, any buffs, all whips and whip effects are allowed, and as for our goals, that's right, plural this time, they are to beat the game and collect all 9 whips. So with that, we're on Master Mode because people complained last time, woe is me. We hop, skip, and jump our little SPS right into our new world, the Kingdom of Lordran. After getting our communal housing set up, we actually have no whips available to us at the moment, meaning no way of defending ourselves. Not to fret though, my little pastries, if we can fill out 10% of the bestiary by talking to new NPCs and purchasing the bug net to catch all sorts of creatures, we can get the zoologist to move in. After doing that for hours and getting fed up with the zoologist still not moving in, we just went to another world to buy the whip from this game's furry service. Then we have our first weapon, with its glorious Castlevania reference tagline and all. Now, the leather whip is terrible. Don't get me wrong, I'm more than happy to have a weapon, but 14 damage and extremely weak knockback? Yeah, we can certainly do better. With that, we head to Blighttown and eliminate hornets and man-eaters to craft the Snapthorn, our real early game weapon. The Snapthorn be so cool, it even applies poison. But, until we defeat Skeletron, this is our only weapon. Since we have no more upgrades until the Spinal Tap, we find some feral claws, start a elevator, find a couple shiny red balloons, finish up with our armor and hearts, then it's time to challenge some bosses. First up, the Eye of Cthulhu, who, upon his execution, rewards us with our prized Shield of Cthulhu. After that, we immediately make an arena to fight the Brain of Cthulhu. By immediately, I of course mean 2 real-world days later. And first, we actually fished up fish to make food buffs. Then, we made our arena, blew up some hearts, and we got close to killing him on our first attempt, but we still died. Luckily enough, with the tissue samples we were able to acquire, we can make the Deathbringer pickaxe, and I decide to eliminate Skeletron in hopes of the Spinal Tap. First, however, we're hit with a goblin army, where we find the Goblin Tinkerer and get demonic on our Snapthorn. Legendary is the best modifier for all the whips, but I am but a poor boy. Then we head back to Sen's Fortress to attempt Skeletron, who we die to, so I try the Brain again, who we also die to. So I head to Lost Izalith by finishing our Elevator, then we reforge our Snapthorn to Legendary. We challenge the Brain of Cthulhu again, and thanks to our extra defense this time around, we beat him. With that, we have 56 tissue samples, which is more than double what we need for our pre-hard mode armor, the Obsidian Outlaw set, giving us 3 extra defense as well as a total damage increase of 31%, and boosts of 30% to our whip range and 15% to our speed. Holy smokes, that's insane. We kill the Eye of Cthulhu a couple more times for some sweet, sweet moolah. Then we move on to try Skeletron again, who gave us a very tough time, but we eliminated him. We didn't get the spinal tap from him, so this is where I looked up how to get that, and I realized they changed it. Or at least I think they changed it. I think I remember being able to get it to Skeletron, correct me if I'm wrong. But now you have to craft it. So we made it, and start on our bridge to the demon ruins. Then we get a blood moon and go out and gather the last of the materials to make our Terra Spark boots before it's finally time to face the wall of flesh. Where the first time we end up dying because of the same mistake I made last video. So we extended the other end of the bridge and made a roof in an effort to limit the access other ghouls and ghosts may have to us, so only the super variety can make it in. Then we try again and again, head to the dungeon for a shadow key and loot some shadow chests. Out of desperation, we equipped the Brain of Cthulhu because it should give us, I think, a 1 in 6 chance to dodge attacks. Hopefully, that'll be the edge we need. So we try again where we have it proven to us that this is completely doable, and we just need to tweak ourselves a slight amount. We make every single useful buff we can, just to die at an even more frustrating point. This is definitely possible though, so hopefully, for the last time, we make all the buffs we need, then we finally killed him. Even with 50 defense, it was still a really close victory. Upon opening our little goodie bag, we find that we didn't get the firecracker or the summoner emblem, so we'll have to fight him again. That's a problem for later. At the very least, we have our second emblem secured to make the Avengers emblem eventually. With that, we bust open some altars, which unlocks cobalt, mithril, and titanium. I've been getting titanium a lot in my more recent playthroughs. I haven't unlocked adamantite in a fat minute. Now, as for pre-mech gear, we actually already have our best armor available. We could get the forbidden armor, but that would only boost our damage. Ultimately, our best bet is to use the obsidian set until post-mech, because despite the forbidden armor giving us an overall larger increase to our damage, it trades that for the obsidian set's boost to our speed and range, which I'm not willing to trade. We can, however, make a new whip, the Cool Whip. So we gather the souls we need, accidentally summon, and have to eliminate deer flops. Grab a frost core, the wiki told me ice golems could shoot through blocks, which isn't true, Dark Souls wiki moment. Then we create our newest weapon, which we use against the wall of flesh in hopes of the 2 drops we need. Afterward, we build another couple levels onto our arena, make some wings, make the Berserker's Glove for the defense boost, since both the knockback and fire damage of the fire gauntlet don't actually apply to whips. Then face the Destroyer, where we get destroyed. However, strangely enough, it's actually looking like the twins this time around are going to be the easiest fight for me. So we go ahead and roll the dice, where despite a slime rain happening at the same time, we can put away their trophy by the break of dawn. With that out of the way, we open our sack of goodies to find the Chrono set, including the wings, which are better than ours, wow, and 27 hallowed bars, with which we make our next weapon, the Durandal, which has a buff similar to the Snapthorn, as well as a whip we'll obtain later, that boosts our attack speed after hitting an enemy. So with our new weapon, after fighting the twins a few more times, we make a full hallowed set and finally have the chance to fulfill our character's true destiny. With this helmet dropped onto our head, I can finally tell you guys that SPS, in fact, stands for Sexy Party Solaire. That's right, the backlogs gave me permission to bring everyone's favorite eccentric knight to the world of Terraria. So let's move into the rest of the bosses with Sexy Party Solaire by our side. First, however, we switch back into our obsidian armor because the set bonus is still just way too good to pass up. Not too long after that, we put away the Destroyer and Skeletron Prime trophies, so we create the Avengers emblem for extra damage, meaning it's time to move on to Plantera, who will allow us to get our next couple whips, the Morning Star, and the Dark Harvest. While I was looking for life fruit and a suitable place to build an arena, I looked it up, and this armor is actually going to give us the best buffs to our weapons all the way through Moonlord. All the buffs we have left, aside from the 3 weapons we're working toward, are simply accessories, and not even too many anymore. So we're just gonna work toward the Hercules Beetle, since it's the easiest to obtain and gives us the largest damage boost for the 1 accessory slot we'll have open after, regrettably, having to remove our Brain of Confusion. We did manage to find a moth, which gave us some butterfly dust, meaning we now have even better flight. Anyway, after some serious frustration making our arena, we find a new Plantera's bulb because ours straight up just disappeared. I don't even know how that happened. It was there, I built the arena around it, and then it was gone. Anyway, we start the fight with Plantera, which actually ended up being easier than I expected, so we put her trophy away. Meaning now we can head to the dungeon and collect our next weapon, the Morning Star, as well as our final accessory, the Hercules Beetle. So we defeat Queen Bee for the first time and create a house in the jungle and buy the Hercules Beetle from the Witch Doctor. Then we reforge the Morning Star because I can't find the footage where we got it. Unfortunately, we do still need to do an event for our second to last whip. So we gather some ectoplasm and start the Pumpkin Moon where we get the Dark Harvest. Meaning the only whip we have left to collect is the Kaleidoscope. So we find a prismatic lace wing and start our fight with the Empress of Light, where we suffered an embarrassing loss. Wow. That's when I realized I didn't even use my buffs, and it's probably a smart idea to make an arena. So we do that, and now it's time to fight Empress. Where we still die again after getting nowhere close to winning. I don't think we're getting the Kaleidoscope, even if I wasn't on Master Mode. We make a spawn point outside of the temple and head inside where we nullify all the traps and make a gantry platform to fight the Golem, where we died again, and again, and again. Enough times, in fact, we completely ran out of healing potions. So I guess this is our last attempt. Stopped by Golem, yikes. So, without any more healing potions, we summon Golem one more time, and after 12 attempts, we get absolutely decimated again, ending our run. Or so I thought. However, then I decided, I'm Mancakes. This is the bakery. I own this channel. I'm gonna try my hardest to complete the challenge, even if it means lowering the difficulty. So that's just what we do. We create a new, small world on Classic to continue our fight, affectionately named Kingdom of Lordran 2. We dig a elevator and blow through Wall of Flesh as easy as I expected, quickly followed by eliminating Skeletron and all 3 mechanical bosses in the same night. Meaning we can move straight to Plantera. In complete honesty, even in Master Mode, she was probably the easiest boss of the run. Then we're already back at our nemesis, Golem, who we defeat but still by a relatively small margin. I really do not know what my problem was whenever it would come to this fight. All I can really think of is maybe defense. Anyway, all that stands between us and the end of the game now is a cultist and some fleshy pillars. When we get to the dungeon, we see some dancers practicing their choreography, so we free them from their mortal coil, summoning their big bad boss. Now, if you haven't seen the last video, Cultist is the boss that put a hard stop on our challenge. I'm hoping that since I have significantly better weapons this time, I can beat him with relatively no issue. It certainly was still a real tough fight, but all we have left is the pillars, then we're on to Moonlord. Lucky for us, the pillars don't have any kind of limit, so it's just a matter of time until we take 1, 2, 3, and 4 of them down, and impending doom approaches. Ooh, that's rough. I didn't eliminate any of his man parts. Well, we have 2 Moonlord summons, so we have 2 more attempts. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's about what I expected. At least we made it to Moonlord, even if we had to essentially lower the difficulty. I feel like this challenge will be a lot more possible when 1.4.5 comes out, adding a bunch of new whips to the progression. I hate to say, but we could not beat Terraria with whips only. If you guys would like to see it, I would really enjoy attempting this challenge again when 1.4.5 comes out, since it's adding, I think, 6 new whips to the progression path. Let me know in the comments. If you have challenge ideas, let me know those too. The next challenge is gonna be in Dark Souls 3. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, despite our failure. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Maybe even join the Discord in the description. I'm not gonna force you if you don't want to, though. I'm not your dad. I want to give a massive thank you to the Backlogs for allowing me to introduce one of his best original characters to the world of Terraria. If you somehow have no idea who he is, but you like my content, definitely go check him out. One of the greats. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. So, as always, have a fantastic day.